person who is accused of illicit enrichment. Yet the Prime Minister is asking the court to strike out that section and make it unconstitutional in Section 14.5 of the Corruption Prevention Act. Now, remember, the Proceeds of Crimes Act is a major law enforcement tool in Jamaica, It is being used for forfeiture and all of that. Now, if the Prime Minister succeeds, then other applicants will file similar lawsuit to have the Proceeds of Crimes Act struck down.
Definitely. And hope, I don't want us to lose focus neither of what Prime Minister is trying to do. We must hold it up before the people so that the people can see, and I am driving home about the whole idea of straight thinking and crooked thinking. Straight thinking and crooked thinking. Open Mind is here. Let me hear what Open Mind has to say. Good evening.
Teacher, didn't hear what Shaka said a while ago. Shaka said that the country is in a deep recession, and all the numbers that we have been crunching all week and the reality that exists with Naira and the deficit in the government's budget, right? The deficit in balance of payment. I would concur with Shaka that the country is in a deep recession.
Yeah, and I'm going to be arranging with Shaka early for us to have one program, a dedicated program for that.
But teacher, I remember when the guy came on the show last night and said that the Prime Minister didn't file for a constitutional challenge of Section 14.5 of the Corruption Prevention Act.
That is why I come back on it today.
Yes, he was wrong. That's why I told him he was wrong before the program closed last night.
And that's why I came, because I went and did my own research again, because I had it, but I just went back and pull up back my stuff. And from morning, me calling him, Jim, from morning, me I ask people to tag him. And to call him. And
Good Pickney said he was going to do the research too,
But we can't tell you,
Good Pickney said he was going to do the research to find out if that was true.
Jim, this is one of the first man with the teach program every day, every given day, teach go live, You can find that guy over here, and teacher call him from the start the program. And you tell me, say, him not here, me tag him how much time.
And this is what I'm talking about when these people come in and talking foolishness. Why they don't come? I'm understanding that this program is one of the biggest one of the biggest thing for them right now. We are saying this is the biggest start right now.
Yes, man. Last night, one of them go over and alive last night. Meanwhile, you're going on when you're in. And they were talking something about Michael Manley. Not sure what, but he go for a clarification on one of his platform about what they hear talking over here. And said this man must be a madman, what he's talking about. But I forgot what they were talking about. But they come over there to clarify something that they didn't clarify over here. I think that guy, I don't know if he's Swaji. He was over here last night?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because your live was almost end, because I passed and see your live almost end, but he left and he go over another other station and they were talking stupidness and all stuff.
And I've been sending invitation to a lot of persons whom we know with alternate views, and they are not accepting.
Your platform a trend now, teach. Because of the Naira something you come out with the thing there from IMF come put out.
Yes.
That is why you're trending. Yeah, because they try to hide the truth, and when somebody come with a little part of it, that's why you see so much of them come over here this morning, because they want to come change your narrative.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Silver Fox. How are you?
Earlier on, me area I make suggestions for us to come up, and you were asking about the public knowledge of
Yeah.
the 1 p.m. taking the IC to court to struck out section 14
Yes.
bracket 5.
Yes.
That is public knowledge. He did. And the court didn't strike it out.
Yes.
So who
Thanks
say
for the-
otherwise?
Yes. Continue. I'm just thanking some people. Yes.
No, when I say who could have come say otherwise?
Okay.
That is public knowledge.
Yeah.
He did take the IC to court to strike out section 14 bracket 5. It's not really
Yes.
subsection. Some people say subsection 5, but it's not really a subsection. It is in bracket, right?
Yes.
Bracket 5. And the court did not strike it out.
Yes.
And a lot of people, where this is concerned with the IC and the Prime Minister, when it comes to FID, it's not
Yeah.
everything was brought to the FID for investigation, you know. It's some aspect of the IC report. And it's not,
Yes.
and it's only some aspect of it went to TAJ. Hence, the IC can't certify
Yes.
Andrew Holness until they get back
thanks all the
some
support.
arg-
Yes. Yes.
until they
Continue.
get back some argument
Thank you. Thank
from
you,
the
Kiki.
IC
Thank you, Kiki.
and TAJ. And some people are say the IC tabled a report already. Based upon the IC Act, then we have to table a report based upon where they reach. It is
Yes.
not, it is not the totality of where they reach, because they're not complete yet.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know how people mix up apples and grapes here.
So bottom line is this platform is now actually tearing the curtain apart so that we can see exactly the intent of the public officials, why they want to tear down the IC, why they are trying to tear down the IC. But based on what we have been following so far, we are not seeing where the IC has overstepped its ground. We have not seen where the IC would have breached anything. So, and we see the intent of what these people are doing when they ask the court for these things. So,
But
all
Fox,
those who,
everything
all those who are
that is
supporting the IC, just type for me.
all
We
the
support.
effort,
I support the IC. Please, everybody.
please.
Who
the effort that is
That's
being
please. That's
the
why I say
effort that
RPMP.
is
That's why I
being
say
made,
RPMP, you know.
the
That's why I
effort
say RPMP.
the effort that is being made by the Prime Minister and his legal team have basically stalled the case, because there is no set date for the Prime Minister in the Supreme Court now, because the Prime Minister asked for leave to appeal certain grounds. And one of the grounds that he appealed was when he asked the court to compel the Integrity Commission to certify him, and that could go straight up to the Privy Council. And if the Prime Minister gets a court date, hold on, Fox. If the Prime Minister gets a court date for his judicial, for his constitution
I'm seeing the I support. I'm seeing the I support the IC. I am seeing it. I'm seeing it.
So if the Prime Minister gets his constitutional challenge heard, that could also take a long process to go through the Privy Council.
All right, let me tell you, they are only is a stalling process.
No man, it works, Fox, because I can tell you with both aspects of the case combined, it could take 16 years easily to at this from here to the Privy Council. Easily.
I know that, but I tell you
that. In other words,
well, I
give me a second.
All right. Tono. Let me hear Jamaica in Focus.
Yes, see, based on the fact that we're seeing these trends, and it's getting more and more, then it is telling us that something has to change. And my suggestion is we create a division within the court system to deal with this. Because one of the reasons why it's taking so long, well, there are multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons why it's taking so long is because the judges dealing with the judicial review and whichever judge is going to deal with the actual charge that might not be the same judges. We need a division within the court system that connects these two things. So if it is that the Integrity Commission charges you and you feel like you need to seek a judicial review, it is the same division that's going to deal with both of them. So you get speed from this stuff, you get I forget the term. But that's my view. I feel like if there is a division, like we have a division in the court system, the gun charge, the gun court, we have a division for probate, we have a division for commercial issues. I think we need a division within the court system to deal with these type of corruption issues.
Jamaican Focus, I just spoke to a lawyer, just not even 1 hour ago in this same regards. You know what the counsel said to me? Our system of law is broken. All right? It is in patches. It is not fully complete. We were talking on so much topics. We talk on NARA, we even talk on NIDS. And a lot of people don't even understand that even with the NIDS situation, where the government asks for us where NIDS is concerned, they have all of them information there already, you know.
Yes, I know.
I know. Them all the information we needs where them are go ask
They have it
for,
because they have all of the fingerprints and everything
them
already.
already have them the information there.
They already have it. You see, the issue is
But
now.
the problem with this now is that there is no infrastructure
to connect the things together.
to protect us, protect our data, and to connect them together. Jamaica not ready for no digital system yet. We don't have no infrastructure for that.
We're too corrupt. Too much corruption in the country. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's always gonna be a problem.
You see why I like compare your program? I ask somebody the same question and I say, then if the government really say them are coming with needs, what they really need from the people, because I say everybody with the voters list already, you know. Everybody when the voters, everybody have a national IDs in, the government have everybody information. So me I say if them are coming with needs like how they enforce the Corona thing the power way as well as I mean I go sugarcoat nothing. What it take for them just go through the whole system where they have bill ID for everybody, cancel all this ID where we have an issue and issue them. Them don't need the consultant from the people to do that.
No, they don't. But because this system is broken and have only a disconnection, they can't do it.
And one of the days I'm going to be expounding on this NIDS and this cashless and this 2030 vision. I'm going to be expounding. I'm going to be pulling the curtains on those.
This 2030 vision won't be reached until 2050.
The Prime Minister don't tell us the 2030 vision is not possible already. Never hear
It's
that.
not possible. All of them not talk for 2030 or 2050 that.
But remember the 2030 vision was never Andrew's vision, 2030 vision, a PNP vision, you know. That is why we're not going to reach it, because they don't have what it takes to bring us there, and they've been in power for over a decade. That's the problem.
But one day I will tell you about this all of these things and how they really are interconnected.
You know, there is a lot of things to talk about, you know, because when you go back, go look at and in Usain Bolt and those money mix up and so, I will read that still we not hear nothing about that the court that is going on.
I know only Usain Bolt money now.
I don't want to go there, so because if you start going there, you find yourself probably started going into the politics. So what I'm going to be doing is going through, looking at good governance and going through the pattern. I'm going to look at the pattern.
But teach. Me
You will
like what
see
you
how that
say.
will come in the
Me like what you
pattern.
say. Good governance.
I'm
Yeah.
Well, I
also,
know we're talking about good governance. Teach. A
Yes.
$3 trillion is unaccounted for in a tree ministry.
Oh, they say it is not unaccounted for. They say that's not. They said the person went
Teach,
back
they're
and
just using
corrected.
semantics.
No, teach. It is
They're using semantics.
unaccounted for
If there's
because
no
they spend the
receipt,
money and
teach.
there's no
Hold
trail.
on.
Jamaica.
Hold on. Let me hear Jamaica in focus.
Yeah,
Jamaica
they're
in
just
focus.
using semantics because if there's no receipt, just like my fellow brother just said, if there's no receipt, we have nothing to tell us if the money was actually spent and what it was spent for, or it was put in someone's pocket. So that's what it means for the money to be unaccounted for.
It is unaccounted for. $3
that is why
trillion over 3 ministry.
Yeah, I'm looking for a word that could
Say it, Safa.
substitute for unaccounted for, because what I'm hearing is that there are no receipts for these to show.
That means if you're not a receipt where you can't tell me anything.
I'm trying to find another word, because if we say it is not accounted, we shouldn't say it is not unaccounted for. Then I want undocumented. All right.
But even if it's
Unaccounted for, it means the same thing undocumented.
Hold on. Teaching. It's a teaching moment now. So undocumented. So let's go with undocumented now.
But
Right?
teach from
So
an
we're going
accounting, from an accounting principle. If it's
Yeah.
undocumented or unaccounted for, is one and the same. I'm
Hold
an
on,
accountant.
Hold on, Silver Fox. Hold on. I don't know if you know me, man. I don't know if you know me.
But
You know my style.
if it's not stealing, if it's pilfering, then we couldn't say no. Can you give a phone for it? I would have to say undocumented down.
Yeah. So let us see if we can. What are we doing? Language. I did.
Yes, we are trying to find a word in an English language. We say it in another way, but it cannot be found.
So let us see now. So now, if we use the term undocumented, we are not going to say it is unaccounted for, but we are going to say it is undocumented.
All right, well,
All right.
undocumented mean teach.
Oh, God.
Me want to know that the way.
No, it can mean it can mean somebody take it from the government coffin, but they never sign for it, so they can charge nobody for it. So it's undocumented.
Then if it's
It's
undocumented,
same thing unaccounted
well,
Somebody
for.
say
but
not
if it's
recorded.
undocumented, you
Hold
can't give
on.
account for it.
Hold on, Silver Fox. Hold on.
Yes. Me want, me no matter how to spin it around, me
you
want to
say
get the understanding.
Undocumented. All right. We're not going to use undocumented either. I'm going to use not recorded.
All right, good. And if
Same
you
thing.
recorded, I same thing.
Same thing.
You know, listen to me.
Because what do we use to
Teach.
document something? Not receipt.
Teach. Any direction you turn where this 3 trillion is concerned, once you can't see any trail, no paper trail,
Where's
it
the
is
silver fox?
unaccounted for.
The money is just not there.
It is not there. It no matter how we look on it. Me I do accounting for 30 years. Undocumented, unaccounted, anything where you want to say. The money spent, and you can't tell me what you spend it and do. You can't show me.
You know who me blame for all of
So
this?
hold on now.
You know who me,
Yes, go ahead.
you know,
Go ahead.
just a second, teach. You know who me blame for all of this? Miss Calder. Miss Calder should have never apologized for saying the money is unaccounted for. Because is it unaccounted for?
Hold on.
When she came back on the TV and apologized, that's where the government felt like.
Jamaica. What did she replace the word with? She apologized. So what did she replace it with?
There was no
Yeah, what she
replacement. She just came back
apologized
to say, she just said she apologized and said it was unaccounted for. But there is no replacement. There's no other word that she could use that
She,
wouldn't
she
mean the
never
same
said
thing.
undocumented.
No,
Did she say? Did
she
she
just said
say
there was no receipt.
undocumented?
All right, teach. Now make it simple.
Yeah.
Teach. Now make
Yes.
it simple. You give me your business for run, and you give me $5 million, and you come and you say you want to say that $5 million spend. And me tell you say, you know, so me buy one eater, but me ain't get no receipt. What you say? Then we receipt. Oh, you mean? Then you, me not just can't tell her anything when me do with the money because me not no receipt. So is that money accounted for? Can my word be the substantiating factor to account for the money where you entrust with me?
But silver fact, stick a pin. You know, so there are 2 copies to every receipt. So
yes.
the actual,
So if me buy and me ain't get no receipt, me can lead back to who me buy from.
The source where you get it from.
And what is happening in this case, there's no trace. That's why them say it is unaccounted for.
Listen, no paper trail.
No paper trail, no did it. And this
And-
is why I don't like Nara.
Can I
Silver
say
Fox.
one thing?
Yeah.
Teach, can I say one thing? The
Yes,
gentleman
yes.
said that
Oh, sorry.
he's
Miss Eva, hold on,
The-
Miss Eva, Miss Forever.
One.
Oh,
Bless.
hold on, man. Never
just one thing,
realized
Messi
you
and
were on the. Never did realize that you were on the platform. Is it first time you come
Why
here?
teach?
yes, no, I'm
Yeah,
on
Allah
it
have to
long
say.
time,
Allah
but
have
we
to
never
speak,
get.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
Sorry about that,
gentleman
man.
said
Sorry
that
about
he
that.
used the $5 million to buy the heater. So if there is no receipt, you got to show the heater.
But the eater no must be valued $5 million. I can't $1 million me use.
Yes, but that
but
that
so
is
now-
true too. But you
hold
have
on,
to show
so
it where
now-
you use it to do.
Right. So now me buy the eater for $1 million, but me tell you say a 5. So and when you go, you find out say a 1. So 4 is unaccounted for.
But remember, say Daryl Vaz do that with the bus them.
Yeah, man. Then so the monies that is not traceable, where you can't make no trace to, those are the money that is unaccounted for.
And by the way, have we received the full fleet of buses?
To this point,
You know,
teach.
say one bus.
Only get the first or second
Alright.
set.
And there was another proposal to buy some new buses. Have that been done?
Listen me. See, Bobby says something in our comment, you see? You know why we have so much
Nara to buy the bus.
You know why we have so much unaccounted funds? We also have a lot of unaccounted assets as well. You check it, people them way have unaccounted ministry them have unaccounted funds, and check the ministers them with unaccounted assets. Where the Integrity Commission, you know see how the equation are balance out. We have $3 trillion of taxpayers' money unaccounted for, and we have multiple ministers who are under investigation of assets where they can't tell where they get the money from.
And remember the Auditor General's report on the many ministries that have some serious challenges. Do you remember? You remember the recent Auditor
Yes, man.
General
The
report?
education
yes,
is
yes.
one of them.
That is why I'm saying I'm going to be doing a program. I'm going to dedicate a program about pattern. I'm going to be doing a
And teach.
on
I speak
pattern.
about pattern and trend many times. It is a subject area in maths, right? It's that from CXC level comes straight up to pure maths. It is there, pattern and trend. And if you study the 1 p.m. pattern and trend from day 1, from him come and talk, say, him get money from Cash Plus and All-Lint. How can you have an individual who is a public figure, the leading public figure, tell we say you get money from Cash Plus and All-In, which is illegal Ponzi scheme. Look at that pattern. And look at this trend now. Is this somebody supposed to be leading us?
Silver Fox, don't preempt that program.
Silver, you miss out SSL, you know. That one is
Don't preempt.
that one is closer than anything else.
Listen me now, man.
People,
Well,
don't
I know.
let us
This
preempt.
one-
Don't
well, I
let us
know.
preempt that program. Don't let us preempt it.
Hey, you
Don't
know
preempt that
why
program.
you know why your program a trend? You know why your program a trend? Teach.
Go ahead.
You have some people on your program who now mince them word and not speak truth and not speak what is in the public sphere. And we're connecting the dots.
This program is the fastest program I have seen to grow. This is you have broken record, Teach. It's just a few
Well,
weeks
you
ago,
made
Teach,
that grow.
about 2 to 3 weeks, you know, because I remember I
Not
was
even
on.
a month now since Teach.
No, it's not even a month.
It's not even a month since Teach come up with him program.
Jimma make
It's
me hear
the
that grow.
fastest current affairs program on TikTok to take off so fast.
You make me hear that grow, Jim. And nobody not
Well,
there.
it's
for
true,
you.
it's
No,
true,
but
Teach.
Teach. No worry
It's
about
true.
your head, you know.
A lot of
Just
people
continue
appreciate-
on the same
A lot of persons
trajectory that you're
appreciate
on.
how you run your program and
All right. People, listen to this, JFJ. You know that I have been on a lot of programs. You know,
Yes.
because we have been on other programs before I started my program.
your own
Right.
program. Mhm.
Right. And you would have seen my trend when I come on programs.
Mhm.
Right? Okay. All right. So I have been observing and I realized that the programs that facilitate the politics, every time I've been listening to several programs and people are trying to make some point from either side. And then the politics just take over and the cursing and the point that the person raised, by the time the discussion ends, it is as far as the discussion end as far as the east is from the west in relation to the point that was raised. So I'll know we not get the answer for that the point. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that is why I decided that I'm going to structure my program a different way. And that is one of the reasons why I structured the program this way, where I said I'm not going to go down into the politics. Because once you start going into the politics, the points are just gone. All right. You see the behavior of
Teach.
hold on, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. You see the behavior of Hugh a while ago? Were you here when Hugh was on the program?
No.
And you were here when Hugh was on the
Yes,
program?
I was here when he started the curse word.
Hugh Richard.
Hugh Richard. And when he started to just butting in. Every time I'm trying to explain something, he butting in. When Shaka was here, and when we take Shaka around the thing, this exact thing that I was saying, even though Shaka was still trying to go around it, we came right back. Edwin, you can bear me out on it.
Yeah,
Edwin, you were here.
Yeah, Teach. Me understand.
Right?
I understand exactly what you say. I'm not telling you something.
When I was
understand.
saying that the Prime Minister was asking the court to force the IC to do something that is illegal, and they were trying to skirt around it to say it was not. You
So
remember?
we're going back now, teaching to pattern and trend of the man.
Yeah.
Teach. I'm
What
not
I don't want, teach, what I don't want to your platform do, you know. I don't want people come here and behave like lab rats. Because I see somebody say we make we sabotage Nara. But what they're not understanding, Nara cannot be sabotaged because Nara is enacted into law.
Yeah.
You cannot sabotage law. You're going to do something illegal.
They can't take on the silver part.
Yes.
Me dey on TikTok for the longest while with a whole heap of these people you see. On TikTok, some good people, some bad people. And let me tell you something. Me see a lot of platform rise up like you one. And come with a lot of good meaning and purpose to it. But let me tell you about this platform in follow. A lot of people with them on TikTok, even though them on TikTok for the right reason, they have this dictator in them way. Them come and them take over the platform and they don't have no respect for the host again, so the host cannot put no caution on the platform, like a t-shirt type caution in platform. And then the host allow them and all of those good platforms fade out.
Because the platform it don't maintain the principles and the etiquettes of the platform.
It don't maintain the principles. It's like how teacher come and say, listen me, my platform is not about politics, you know, but if I allow you to vent and put a pine out there, but the minute you see it get out of control, him try to kinda put up in guardrail and get it back in the order. That's how every platform should have run.
So what you know want? Let me tell you,
I think you, Richard, not understanding that Teach is not running a political platform.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but
if me come up here and me sound like one PNP. And everybody know, yes, me a PNP. But me a PNP with the truth. That is why I am not following the PNP then we say, come let us sabotage Nara. You cannot sabotage Nara.
No, but listen, don't even say that because we don't know. We are here two people talking. We have no proof they are PNP or jail. So I don't hear any official PNP or any PNP platform that I know of that says anything about sabotage in Nara. Because like you said, there is no sabotage in Nara. Nara is already enacted in the law.
And Jamaica.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying that two things miss about that voice note. You see, one is that it as long as the source is not authenticated, I cannot speak to it. And you know what? Hold on, Silverfax. You know why I can't, and I will not, because they took my program, recorded somebody, and they cut and stitch and turn around what the person was saying in the opposite, that the person is now saying the opposite of what the person originally said on the program.
All right, yes, and that was done to you, Teach. But this particular voice note, based upon my research, and my research lead me to the highest level of IT. This voice note was not tailored. It actually came out of a group where even the opposition leader is a part of. So it is true. It is said.
Silverfax,
yes.
Silverfax, except you have that documented stuff that you can show. I don't want to go there neither. I don't want to
All
go
right,
there.
no problem.
Well, Silverfax.
Yep.
Did you hear the voice note or did you see the conversation that the voice note was a part of?
No. I a particular individual played the voice note for me.
And the second thing about this voice note again. And the second thing,
from hearing the voice note, how did you know that voice note came from a group?
The person.
Hold
on. Me not go say much based upon our Teach program. But the person who played the voice note for me, we also know the voice of the person who is on the voice note, and we know where it come from. But me not want to
Teach.
dive
Alright,
too
alright.
much on Teach
Teach,
program.
teach. I'm
Silver
gonna say this
Fox,
to you.
I
I'm
don't
gonna say
want to
this
go
to you.
down that road because we don't have
Silver
nothing to verify that.
Silver Fox, I'm gonna
That
say this
that's
to you.
going down that road.
If a vice here use to come, that is not credible. Anybody can use.
No, hold on.
No, hold on.
The
Brethren, we're
person
not going
who
no further
played
with
the
it. We're
voice
not going no
note,
further with it. Silver Fox,
hold
we're
on, the
not going
person
no
who
further
played the
with it.
voice note
Silver
was
Fox, I'm
taking
down
up
this
the
argument.
voice note
Hold
and they
on,
went through the
Silver Fox.
scientific.
Hold on, Silver Fox. We're shutting down that. We're not facilitate that none at all, except we have the
AI
proof
can do all
for
of
that.
that now.
We're
Exactly.
shutting down. We're shutting it down. No, go for no further with it.
AI
We're shutting
can
it down.
teach. AI can
Yeah,
do all of
yeah.
that now.
Shut it down. We are shut it down. We know bigger than this. Shut it
We
down
know
here.
that. Remember what they did.
No go no
Remember
further.
what they did with the recording with I'm name there, 89. Who remember that?
Right. That's why I
Okay.
said shut it down right there. So JFL. And the other thing, the only thing I will say on that, Silver Fox, you can open back your mic. The only thing I will say on that, even if that is true, I am saying that is just an intent. What me I speak about is reality on the ground. We don't know if the voice note would have gone nowhere, even if it is true. We don't know if them could have do nothing.
Yeah,
That's
but between
just
me and you
an
teach,
intent.
it not going to go nowhere. Well, on
Intent.
teach, it's
So
not
a
going to go
reality we are
anywhere.
talking about on the ground. Reality we are dealing with. We not deal with what is just an intent. Where we don't know if would ever come to fruition. So what we are talking about is the reality. And we will stick to the reality. So who want to talk about voice note, they can talk about it. We not talk about it here. So.
I am not concerned about the voice note. I'm concerned about the reality is that you cannot sabotage NARA because it enacted into law.
Yes. Who is Bobby? Bobby, you want to come up here?
But what Teach would have explained over the past few days is that NARA doesn't even have any money to start functioning as yet.
Thank you. That's how we are going. That is where we're going.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank
That's how
you.
we are
Thank
going.
you.
That's how we are focused. That is what we are focusing on. Because that is what they want to try to keep away out of the eyes of the people. Right.
And when you hear the permanent secretary in the office of the Prime Minister giving flimsy excuses as to why the $1.44 billion in hurricane relief fund has not been spent, then it is in line with what we are saying that the government doesn't really have the wherewithal and the capability to effect NARA right now as things are. Because if they can spend 1.44 billion, which I personally believe it's gone. And I think it's even more than that. Right? And it's gone. If they can't do that, then I can just imagine when they get NARA's
a teaching moment for somebody in the chat. Somebody is saying, isn't NARA just a bill? Jolene Mystic? Somebody educate Jolene for me now.
If it is a bill,
yes,
no, man, he can come on.
It's a law.
He can come on.
Jolene,
you can come in the box, man.
Yeah, Jolene, come up in the box.
Can make a good contribution.
Let me talk here. Let's see, we need some education here. Yeah,
Jolene has information.
He's coming up in the box. Yeah.
Oh, Jolene
right,
or Jocelyn?
Jolene.
Jolene.
Oh,
Mystic.
Jolene.
Mystic somewhere. Good evening. How are you? Jolene, Mystic.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes. You were asking a question about a bill as a bill.
Which part?
Oh,
Miss Bless, mute your mic, Miss Bless.
Yeah, I'm just curious to find out.
You probably have to log in and log out. Log out and log in.
Oh, internet.
Yeah.
Internet challenge having.
But no, it's a male. Jolene is very capable man to discuss a wide range of topics.
Yeah, man, I'm a friend, man. A good boy.
I'm qualified in
Bobby is
IT.
here.
Bless
Bobby.
up on the panel. Yeah. So I told me did I move around one at a time. So I don't know if they short me one at a time. I never.
You can come back up, Jolene.
Jolene very knowledgeable and him qualified in IT. So,
Okay.
and he's a male.
Yeah, man, it's a male virgin.
Yes.
And big up in a teach with your platform, you always lift the conversation, and I love that. You see the little low mentality thing, you know, I may appreciate because I'm more of that we want. We really want to have the real conversation, them the things that people want to discuss are the things them where not necessary, them things that are kindergarten stuff. We want to deal with the real where we can understand the real situation, what is happening, like how sometimes I see you try to explain it. Yeah,
Yes.
and tell what the situation is, and people understand what really is happening, and then we can have the real proper discussion. Instead of the whole heap of misunderstanding and people are spinning in one circle and they
and anybody who you see I see coming and trying to skirt around issues, I'm not going to tolerate them. I have them tolerate them for a period of time for them to establish their foolishness and then we cut them.
But teach all of them who come on your show, all of them fail. All right, Jolene is back.
Yeah, Jolene is back.
Look, okay. No, the reason why I asked the question is in the NARA just a bill. To be honest, since they came up with it, I did not follow up with it because I was turned off from it the moment he said that spending bill, one of its primary focus, which was the only plan they outlined, was to build a hospital in the KMTR. So I did not know they made it into a law as yet. That's the reason, was the reason for my question because, as I said,
yes, man, it is passed into law.
So know that they've made it into law. My question to it is towards people who follow it up more than I do because I don't care to. So how is it that the only plan they have tabled so far is to use that infrastructure repair bill to build an hospital in the KMTR and nothing is said about the damages in Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth and Mandeville?
You're kind of preempting another program that I want to do on that NARA Act.
Teach. With all due respect, I think we should find some time and kind of dive in this now, because this is so interesting, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I will spend an hour on this.
Very important. Very important.
All right.
Trying to make a point, you know, so we should just allow him to complete his thought.
Yeah. He's asking, you know, there's nothing in the act that really addresses the real suffering of the people. That's what you're saying, Joel.
Exactly. That's the reason why I asked that question. It's a thought-provoking question to add some context to the point I want to make. And the point I want to make is this. And I'm going to draw another contextual point before I make my point, is where when the Auditor General tabled her report, it came to light that there's still money sitting in the burial fund that has not yet been spent. Right? So with that on the table, my point is this. How can I trust a spending bill that was made into law for reparations into infrastructure in the country when there's pre-existing funds that has not yet been spent, people that have now twice been impacted by a crisis situation, and repairs are not yet been done? So how is it what was this law allowed to be passed? And this was not yet done, right? Now, additionally to that, the shortfall predicted for the 27 to 28 budget, currently predicted. How is it that these monies are sitting there, infrastructure repairs is not yet done, we come up with a spending bill based on a loan that we will be asking the IMF for to complement the charity funds that are available, yet still repairs are not yet done within the country? That does not make any sense whatsoever to me.
All right. Let me do my little piece and then I'll let other persons come in. All right. So my analysis of it, my assessment of the whole thing is that that money that was sitting there from burial, what is happening is that this whole IC attack is affecting all of what you see is happening. The same attack on the IC, in one way or another, it is affecting it. Because why people would have the money sitting on and not making any plans to use the money. One of the things is that when it comes to the bureaucracy, people are afraid to sign off these days. They are afraid because of what is happening with the IC. So things that they used to do first time and was willing to just fly over, and whatever hanky panky was being done, they realized that they have to be cautious right now. So that is one of the things. So people now sign off, people afraid to sign off, people have to question everything first before they sign off. So that is one of the things that is holding up that. And the other thing is that when it comes on to the NARA now in terms of drawing down on these multilateral things, the multilaterals also are watching how we deal with our anti-corruption agencies. How are we dealing with corruption? Because the country is sitting on a 44 transparency of corruption, perception of corruption index, which is suggesting that the public sector is seriously corrupt. That's what that is saying. So these multilaterals, they have their benchmark to ensure that when they lend these monies, the monies go to the right place that they're supposed to go. So they have put in their benchmark that these applications will have to meet. So even though there's an agreement, the country will have to prove, the government will have to prove to these multilaterals that I have the necessary safeguard, right? Our guardrails up where corruption is concerned, right? I want you to notice that when the NARA, you say you never know, the NARA Act was passed without a certain guardrail. And I think that when the government realized that they could never touch a cent out of that money until that guardrail is up. So they went after the act was passed and cut on one little guardrail. So all of these things now is affecting the speed at which they can move, NARA can move. And right now, NARA cannot do anything. NARA cannot touch that money until January because they have to be putting in place, they have to be putting in place these guardrails to satisfy the benchmark of the International Monetary Fund. And that is why I'm spending some time to slow down the thing here so that the ordinary Jamaican can understand. So we are pulling away the curtain so we can see behind the scenes what is taking place. So when people come out and making some flimsy excuse and blaming voice notes for NARA not moving, we know the real reason why NARA is not moving. All right, somebody else can
teach. Before you guys continue, teach. Another reason why I know that, in fact, Fox and I on another platform discussed this in greater detail before. The reason why I asked the question, I've never heard you speak on it before, so I wanted you to give your take on it to see if we fall along the same line, because I know that. And
yeah, man. Justin.
So hold on.
He's saying exactly what we said before.
Am I falling in line with what you heard?
Yes. You hit the nail on the edge with one broad hammer. But you couldn't miss.
In our context, what the gentleman just say, it's like him not really understand before you explain it to him now, but it also come with a question, because to me now, when me hear the reason why him not really find no interest in it now, the purpose make them not try to speed up NARA in the first place, he say, and the disaster where Jamaica got through, see? Why him try to say no, him still not see nothing in there, in regards to that,
Nope, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I teach.
We also coming to that point too, because we have not been dealing with that part of it either. We have not touched that part yet, you know. Said in the bill, in the act itself, it's not addressing.
Because
we don't see it addressing
teach.
the need.
Even when you just said, look, while, you know, I never take the time out, you know, if you say, this wasn't about the people that were really there for the government, we really need help, you know.
No.
Say it, you know.
Yeah, me can get a minute. Yeah, where he must say, you know, something where me been looking at for a time. Here is the question. If we have, like, we are set up a bill or a law, yeah? But we ask for the support because of one reason. Yeah, so we ask, we don't know what is fraud, you know, because we have to go look back on the definition. So we then ask and say, let's support this for this reason. So put this into law for this reason. And then when you give them the support, put it into law, it has serve a different purpose. It has nothing to do with the reason that you support it. That you get the support to put it into law for. So it comes like a deception. It's a high level of deception.
Yes. Hold on a little bit, people, though.
Yes.
Hold on a little bit, because I am getting a feedback a while ago from the platform that basically what you're telling me now, that the platform is like a university right now.
Sorry. I mean, sorry.
It is like a university right now. If you go to university, if you are to go to university, you know how much. You know what it would have cost you. Support me. That's all I'm saying. Support it live. You're over here. You're at university. Support it live, man. That's all we're asking you to do. Support it live. Right? But this live from where I am here, man. We should have the way up. If the platform is really saying what you are saying, we should have the way up. Right? Thank you. Continue now. Somebody was talking. Continue.
So,
continue supporting the live as we talk.
Did you hear what I said a while ago?
Man, we hear you. You said that.
Okay,
you actually said that the whole Nara thing is a deception.
Yes, they got the support. They ask for the support to do something, and when you get the support to do what you ask to, you understand, you do something different. So it's like a deceptive. It's a big high level of deception, right? So
well, like if you had listened to teach. If you had listened to teach earlier, right?
Silver Fox.
Yes.
I have some punch lines that I want to put into my program when I'm dealing specifically with this. So I don't want to preempt what I'm going to be saying. That's why you see I'm treading lightly with it right now.
Yeah, I was just saying to the brethren that if he was listening what you said in regards to Nara, basically, and what Justin came up with, Nara was not 360-degree fine-tuned.
But you see, Jolin has a presentation to make, but we are not allowing him.
Teach, so let's allow it for now, and then we'll have
Teach, Jolin has a presentation to make, but we have to allow him because he just came on the show.
Yeah.
Look, all right. Look, here's my point to make, right? And as Teach said, I'm going to respect his wishes, because if he's going to discuss it in a greater detail at a later point in time, I will not
he's
preempt
not stopping you from discussing it.
No, I won't. The reason why I won't is for those of you guys who've either been on my platform or on platform with me, you know all too well that I will provoke the conversation, so I won't do that out of respect for him and his platform. That's why I won't. However, what I will say is this, right? Someone brought up, Teach brought up the IC and why people refuse to sign off on certain tasks so far. So what I will say is this, right? Until the finance minister himself can come out and outline a thorough disaster preparedness plan outside of NARA, right? Because let's be real here. The Office of Disaster Preparedness should have funding to respond to minimal to medium related crises in the country. It should have its own funding for that reason. Even outside of charities, right? Now, I'm going to speak from that forefront. Now, this disaster happened. HADPEM is now depending on funding from external sources, whether it's charity or another department they're relating to that. So, in that being said, how can it be that I am going to trust a bill enacted by the same people in charge of HADPEM to say, okay, well then, we're going to enact a bill for repairs when the department that was established to respond to this crisis has no money. That makes no sense. Now, I'm going to also say this. In terms of you saying, okay, we're going to repair stuff and all that stuff, the government of Jamaica should not be saying to the people, we're going to depend on charities and loans to repair the country. You want to know why? Because crisis management is a duty that is assigned to the office of the Prime Minister. It's always been that way. So what you're trying to tell me is that over the 10 years you have been in power, you have not implemented any crisis management response plan to enact in the event of a crisis. The only thing that came out of Melissa was that we had some insurance that no one knew about until after the fact. And that proves that you're either inept or incompetent in your job. And the reason why I would use those two strong words is because Jamaica did not just suddenly become part of a tropical climate. We've always been in a tropical climate. We've always been prone to hurricanes. So for you to say that this has not happened and we have to depend on charities makes absolutely no sense. The other part I will make is that when you're looking at this country and their slowness to act, and then the explanation being given is that we need to make strategic plans, that again in itself makes absolutely no sense. And the reason why I would say it makes no sense is because the current government has proven that they will drag their feet across every single task that they are supposed to complete. Point in question, when we talk about the IC and its investigation into Andrew Holness, right? A lot of people will say, okay, it's a smokescreen, it's a distraction, it is this and all of that bullcrap. What I will say is this. The investigation of the IC started as a question. The question itself was, your account indicates that you have more money than you should have based on your current income as the Prime Minister. It was a simple question. A simple question which the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, I'm not going to say the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness himself, which should have been able to answer and he had not been guilty of illicit enrichment. Right? So where it is now, where people are saying, oh, some people are defending him, some people are questioning him, some people are accusing him, this situation is one of his own creation, where he did not answer that question thoroughly. All he had to do was answer the question. Either me make it off of my own profession, my wife bring it in. That's all he had to do, but he refused. Instead, he went to the court for the court to intervene on his behalf. To me, that kind of spell guilty. That does spell too right to me, but that is my opinion, right? Further on down the line, in this entire fiasco, following Melissa, let's not forget 2021, Jam COVID was made vulnerable and it was reported whereas data from persons who contributed and persons that were involved in it was made public, right? So how is it that a company that made a failure of that magnitude was allowed to be responsible for the website as it relates to Jamaica Portal? That in and of itself makes no sense. And what that says to me is that when Jam COVID failed back in 2021, there was no sense of accountability that was issued or dealt out to the AMPA group. That is what you're showing to me, that this company is now the one in charge of something of this magnitude again. Following that point, on top of that point, Silverfax will tell you that I am someone who's fully capable of designing that website if I was given that contract. But was that contract made available for tender to local IT representatives in the country? No, it was not. It was dealt with in secret. And what a lot of people don't know is that if you have a contract of this nature to be issued out and it is not tendered, then that goes to show there was political favoritism or favoritism as to how it was awarded. Because to this date, there's been no documentation of tender for that contract for the IT related. Which brings me another question to the table. Do we not have eGov of Jamaica, which is the governmental IT platform that should be responsible for these resources? Why are they muted?
Are you about to land? Because you said something that I need to ask.
Hold on, sir. Hold on, man. You can't jump in on the platform. You can't just jump in on the platform, Tata. How many persons are here? Are you're coming up. You're going to say something.
I think that judge is
greetings to the platform. Yeah, it's just that he's going and he said something that I want to ask him.
Good Pitney. You say all I with it quiet and listen.
Yeah,
Do
wait.
you same thing now?
But he was going on and
Yeah,
on,
man,
and he
yeah, man,
said
and he must go on,
something
man,
When
some
he's
good point.
finished,
And
when
he
that
was
I
going
need to
on
ask
some
him
good things where
to
we not
walk
interrupt.
back, because if he doesn't know, it does not mean the government is inept. He
when
said the
you're
government is
good
inept
Pitney,
because
The
Hold
man
on,
pick
Good
here
Pitney,
one
so
of
you
them.
can't
hold
wait.
on,
you about the
Hold on, no good
catastrophe
Pitney, man, you
ban.
must wait.
Good Pitney, a class of our years, you know, everybody are trying to learn something, you know, so you have
yeah,
to
let the
just,
man
Good
finish
Pitney,
his
wait.
yeah, man.
presentation and then
Just
you
make
can
note
talk after.
what you want to ask him, man, and
Right,
when it
all
come
right.
out, you just
Go
answer.
ahead, John.
Let
Go
him
on.
do it, yeah.
Please mute and let Mystic finish for me, please.
Go ahead, Mystic. I mean, I learn a lot of things here.
And what I'm saying is this, right? What I will say is this, in regards to the point I was making before Good Picnic came up, is that in the absence of clear action or preventative measures as it relates to your duty as a minister, prime minister, or elected representative, of these points I've pointed out, it speaks to actual ignorance. And if you're going to say you're not ignorant or illiterate to the duties you're assigned or responsible for, then if you're not illiterate or not ignorant, meaning you know how, you know what is required, you know what is needed, I am going to circle back around to what Good Pitney did because he preempted me. Yes, I am going to confirm what I said earlier. The government is either inept or incompetent because you have given a duty to carry out and you have failed. It doesn't matter how you want to word it. It doesn't matter how you want to say it. And yes, that is my opinion, but it's my opinion based on the current situation Jamaica now faces. I do, and to be fair, just in case your rebuttal will involve a political response to me, to be fair, I will make this clear, abundantly clear, that if it was Mark Golan as Prime Minister and this situation still came to being, I would say the exact same thing. Being inept and being called inept and incompetent does not make you less of a person. It just means you're not good at the job. And I will say this further.
Top up the screen, man.
And furtherance to that, for the qualified people that are on this platform and Teachers For You page, and Teach himself will tell you, if you're seeking a job at a higher level, you need to provide a curriculum vitae detailing your experience and the requisite qualification that makes you qualified for the job. Currently, our prime ministers and the ministers with their individual portfolio are failing to indicate that they have the qualifications, both through skill and demonstration, that they're qualified for the job. If you feel offended by me saying that, then maybe you need to check into the facts and the acts they've failed at doing so far before coming at me. I am speaking based on what has actually transpired over the last year or so.
Have you landed now?
I have landed there.
Okay, yes.
Hold on.
I just need to.
Hold on, Good Pitney. Make it was give permission, no Good Pitney.
Hold on, man.
You can't come take over, man. Oh, sure.
All right. First thing I have to ask Good Pitney. Were you here last night?
Yeah, but you should allow me to respond to Mr. Johnny.
Hold
Then you
on, man.
asked about last night.
First, man. Wait, no, man.
I was here at the end of the
Good
program.
Pitney. Me want respond to, but I'm there before you. Or you can respond before me.
So who is the host?
Hold on.
I was at the end of the program, Teach. I was here at the end.
The host direct the thing, Good Pitney.
All right, hold on, everybody. Hold on. I'm asking Good Pitney a question. I didn't hear the answer. I don't know.
I was here at the end of the program.
Okay. Were you here when it's because I want to know if you were one of the persons who defended something last night. So were you here in terms of when I said that the Prime Minister had asked for the court to force the IC to do something that is illegal in terms of certifying him, and also in terms of striking out a clause in the illicit concerning the illicit enrichment. Were you here at that point?
I came upon the program when Talk Sweet asked you if you know what judicial review meant. And I came up because I believe it was a relevant conversation for us to define.
All right.
The scope
so
of
what
it.
I was going to ask is relevant here now. Since you were not at that point, but I'll leave that. So all right, just hold for me a moment because I'm gonna go around the platform to for some persons.
Yeah,
to,
but would you permit me 1 minute so we don't lose the conversation? Just to say something to Jolly, right? In
1
regards
minute,
to him,
1 minute, 1
yeah,
minute.
1 minute, yes. In regards to you, Mr. Jolly, as citizens, we have the right to be informed. We all also have the responsibility to inform ourselves. You have stated that the government is inept and incompetent. However, this government, right, they did inform us about the catastrophe bond. There was many times the finance minister, who was Nigel Clark, came out, he told the nation about the layers that we have in place should we have an external shock. To later add to this, when Beryl happened, we couldn't have activated, our ban wasn't triggered because it wasn't up to the level of disaster that we ensured. So when you say the government is inept because they didn't inform the people, that statement, you need to withdraw it, because it's your obligation and it's your due diligence to also educate yourself as a citizen. And not because you didn't know means that the government was inept. It just means you weren't informed. And that's okay if you're not informed. You can always inform yourself.
Land there and let him answer now. 1 minute.
Okay, and I respond to you by saying this. Now, let me be clear. I did not say we were not informed. Those were not my words. My words was their incomplete failure to act in response to these crises. Those were my words.
Jolly, God Pickney has not made any point a while ago. So stick to your issue. Because he has not made any point at all.
Now, what I'm going to respond to him is to say this, right? When I say someone is incompetent or inept, I do not care, especially when it comes down to ministerial representatives, I do not care what you say to me. Because I can get up right now and I can say I have $1 million in my account and I'm going to use that $1 million to fix that curve channel in my community. I can get up and say that. And I can make that promises. I can put the plans in place. I can say that.
But Beryl was a powerful hurricane.
Let me finish, sir. We allowed you to finish. Let me finish. Right?
It's not good, Pitney.
Oh, I'm a good Pitney, Justin. Go and talk.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But what I will say to you is this, good Pitney, is this. What you're saying is that it is okay for them to say what they want to say and what they want to document. But you're going to say that to defend that in the absence of action. And what I will say to you is that I do not care anymore what our government has to say, what they put in writing. What I'm looking for is action. And this is why I say they are incompetent and inept. Anyone can say what they intend to do. Anyone can say what they plan to do. Anyone can present what they want to present. But and
my friend Jaslyn, after 9 months, we have seen no action.
My point exactly. So when you come at me to say I cannot call them inept or incompetent, when you come at me, what you need to do is to check out on their actual actions and what they have done to move the country from the state of crisis to be somewhere better. Until you can do that, don't come to me with conversations like that.
And in landed, I will say this to you. A lot of persons who are calling this government inept, if you're informing yourself, you will realize after the aftermath of the hurricane, the United Nations logistics team was working with our Department of Disaster Preparedness. So when you guys are saying that people is inept, you're literally saying the UN is inept. The people who have dealt with so much disasters.
We are not targeting the UN. What our government has done. What has they done?
Beg a second, because good Pitney, sometimes when you come with some line of argument, you know, and as me say, me and teacher always say, we speak about what they're on the ground, you know. We're not talking about what right now where they might come with narrows in. When you can't have a government in where not this last hurricane we have, Hurricane Beryl, we passed the year before, in, and you have people from that hurricane until this one, where the last one they come in a shelter from burial, and the government can come and say they have money from burial, and you say this government is not inept. Come on, man. We could talk facts now.
All right. Yeah, man. So that's it. Let me drop in my piece here, sir. So good Pitney, this is my concern. So we have a government that is capable and well competent. However, people are suffering from burial, and money has been sitting in the coffers
in the government pocket
from burial to come over to this
to
one
Melissa and still suffering and still not get no help.
What would you call that if it is not inept? Let me hear the word how you would describe that if it is not inept. Go ahead. I'll give you a minute.
Okay, so and that is the thing. If some persons would come out, and that is what I believe I wouldn't appreciate about my own Jamaican people. One, you will come out and you will blast it everywhere. You're not getting help. But when you start to get help, everybody is being quiet, and you're hearing persons speaking, and you're not coming out to defend the government to say, yes, I actually got help. Yes, this program exists. And because when you do that, you know what you're doing? You're helping your brother and your sister to know that there is programs available, and you can also give them how you did it and allow them to try and see if this program worked for them. There is some administrative issues. There is some administrative issues where...
boss. Now move on yet.
Teach, we can't get 30 seconds.
Hold on there.
But teach, hold on. The question.
Has he answered my question?
No, but he didn't answer my one. He didn't answer my one, not teach. Because the reason
Teach, your question was not answered.
These are facts.
Yeah.
These are facts that people are clearing down, when you down a Lionel Town, in a shelter, from burial, and the government come out. First they say they can't help them, And then after the whole thing, blah and tear out, the government come out and say they have money, leave over even from burial. So what to these people where all they need help and you have money? Why you never help them?
The reality. That is the reality that is on the ground.
Yes, but what I am saying, a lot of persons get help.
Hold on.
Good Pitney, why you tell me why government never help them people who in a shelter from burial until Melissa come get? And that's why you tell me. Why them never help them? Why reason make never help them?
Hold on. To show us that the government is not inept. Tell us now. Show us why so much money was left over from burial for one whole year. And people were suffering. Explain that part for me.
From burial.
Okay. So I can, as I say, I'm not in the administration, the day-to-day activity. So this is my own opinion, right? If you don't apply for that program, the government cannot pay that out to you. If your MP didn't refer you,
hold on.
If your MP didn't refer you,
hold on.
Hold
on, man. Make him finish. Hold on. Make him finish.
Make him finish.
No, if I explain something before I rubbish himself.
Hold on. Make him finish. Yes, go ahead, good people.
Okay. So if you, right, didn't apply for the program, you won't get the benefit. If your MP didn't refer you and, do that application for you, guide you like this program exists, let's apply for this, you wouldn't have gotten the benefit. All the persons who benefited, because persons benefited, here is where I have a problem. If all those persons who benefited from the program is keeping silent and not coming out to the people.
Tell me about the persons who benefited. We are talking about the millions of dollars. That's it. And there are other people who are still suffering.
Teach, can I say something? Teach.
But what I was saying is we're not being our brothers' keepers. Right? We're being our brothers' keepers and letting each other know the program exists. Then more persons could have benefit.
Teach me now before we lose between that time.
Hold on, Edwin. Good Pitney. Are you aware that in any disaster, you see, the I'm forgetting the name of it. The ADRA is the first responder. Just answer me yes or no. Do you know that ADRA is the first responder? That the government has ADRA right up in ODPEM, and the work of ADRA, what ADRA, the government has mandated ADRA to do is to be the first responder on the ground. Do you know that?
I don't know the full breakdown of the disaster preparedness body. So you are just giving me.
All right. Hold on. Let me go now. Hold on, Edwin. Let me go now. So let me educate you now, and you can go do your research on that. ADRA sits in the office of ODPEM and is mandated by law, operates under the legal framework of ODPEM, right? And so they are the first responder in a disaster, meaning say they are the first boots on the ground. So when something happens, they are the ones that are going to go in, identify the people them who are affected, and they first try to give assistance. Next phase is that when the government officials now finally reach in the area to do the assessment of those who are damaged, ADRA is side by side with them. And ADRA will help to verify the names that are given. So ADRA turn over the names basically to the government officials. Are you aware of that?
Not aware of that. But why does
Okay,
are you
hold
trying
on,
to say
hold
that
on,
way?
man.
Does that
Hold
pre-angle the
on, I'm going
MP's
step by step. It's a
involvement?
teaching. Hello, it's a teaching moment. This is a teaching moment. So that means the government would have been aware of the names of those who are affected, because ADRA would have been going side by side with the government. As a matter of fact, they would have been taking the government people to the affected people because they were the first one on the ground, right? And ADRA is a non-political movement, so them no business with whether you are orange or you are green. They are just looking at the people who are affected. So with that said,
sorry, Teach, could you give me the letter for that abbreviated word?
Wouldn't the government aware of those who are affected through that system?
Could you give me the abbreviated letters, please, for ADRA?
I think it's Adventist Disaster Relief Agency. I think that's it.
Teach. Does make me connect on that here for good Pitney. Because it look like, to me, he might miss out some things. Where, based upon what teacher explained to you, you have different set of people after we have a disaster, like a hurricane. But you see those specific people who end up in a shelter, you do research. The government responds to them from the day when they move to that shelter until them come out of the shelter. The government responds to them. So there's no way people supposed to be in a shelter and the government have money, and those people in a shelter from one hurricane season until the next one come eat and in a shelter and the government they have money, and you are telling me say those people, your explanation, them not go seek help. That's why they not get help. The government responds to them because they're in a shelter.
Teach, may I ask for a minute for your time now?
Yes, Bobby. And good Pitney, make a note of the questions that are being asked so you can answer them.
All
yes.
Right. One, may start right where we no stop. Can someone defend a program that they know nothing about? When Jolene said the government is incompetent and inept, it's after the fact, you know. It's like you get a task to perform, and after you fail now, the person say, you know, you could have managed your thing and you take on the job. You understand? So is a concluded statement, a statement of conclusion that is after the fact that he's saying that, so you can't go back and go fix. Yeah, regardless of the excuse or the alibi, when you get the tax and say you couldn't do the tax, it is of no importance. The excuse or the alibi is of no insignificance after you have failed. So it's a concluded statement, a statement of conclusion. Yeah,
All
so
right.
you know, so they go around, come around and thing, and it also embarrassing to Picney. You should name PICKNEY, yeah, not pit. Pit has something with to do with like excretion or what, or
Sir,
pole or something.
so if you
Yeah? Watch
understand
this.
patois, you know it's not a
Look,
formal
pick,
language. You can spell
Picney,
it
we know
anyway.
the patois thing. We know the pick. Yeah,
All
all
right.
right.
Yeah.
When me
All
say,
right.
all right,
All right.
overlook that.
Not
That is a little
distracted by that. Don't be
yeah, all
distracted
right.
by
Hold
that.
on. Yeah, a joke. Yeah. What may I say?
All right.
With you now, with the conclusion, it's more embarrassing now if you say somebody will get help can come volunteer, say yes, we get help. That to the ensure say it's a minimal amount of person. The little people that get help, them don't even enough for what one of them could then see the platform and come defend you with the appreciation and the gratitude. You know, so them get help and come. But if majority of people or so much people they get help, you don't hear them from time to time or even now. Or no and again, you don't hear even one say yes, I get help. So it's something like who get help is so insignificant that you can't amount for the request where you're asking for. So it's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, two questions, things I'm gonna say again, and allow somebody else. So, good Pitney, I'm saying to you, why I bring in ADRA? Because I know of a fact that ADRA goes around and do their own assessment and do their own recommendation in terms of those who need help, and this information is turned over to the well, they go alongside with the government people, giving them that recommendation. So without any MP, and this, let me make this valid point, why ADRA was brought in is to cut out the political favoritism. So this independent group would go in alongside with the government officials and ensure that the names are submitted, right? So all the names, so all the government officials who come out would have gotten these names. What happened to these names after they would have gotten these names? Because I know this as a fact. Tell me.
Give me just a second. I'm just...
This is
Yes.
one of the things I have been saying a lot of times on all the platforms on mine. Is, you see, when you are blindly defending or blindly defending or aligning yourself with some
Yeah.
people, this is where you end up with a level of confusion, or you don't care to listen because you care to your butt. Because if
Yeah.
Good Pitney was listening to what I was saying, I get it, he wasn't there from the very beginning, but if he was listening to what I was saying, he would understand that during my entire presentation, it was based on my presentation, why I said the country, the government is inept and incompetent. And as Bobby said, that was in my conclusion, and I circle back around to it. Because here's the thing. If all you have to show for yourself is what you said, that is not any form of KPI or key performance index, that's just word of mouth, because anyone can say what they intend to do. And this is exactly what the Jamaican government is doing. They're saying what they're
Speak
going
when
to
you're
do
ready.
and no action. And at this point, I don't know for anyone else, I can speak for myself. In the absence of actions, in my eyes, you're incompetent. This is not the time for us to be making promises. This is not the time for us to be saying what we're going to do. This is the time for us to act. Because anyone can table plans.
Should
Anyone can
have
come up with
acted
strategies.
already.
You should have acted already. It's almost a year. So you are incompetent. I do not care how you want to spin it. You are incompetent. It doesn't matter how you want nice you want to say it. Andrew Wallace and his administration has had 9 months to enact plans to help with the reparations of the country. I do not care I do not care what your excuses are, because at this point, no matter what you say as to why you have not done so, it is a literal excuse. And if it was someone you were paying to do a job and this was their performance, you would have fired them already. So not because he's the prime minister, you're going to defend it.
I am going to throw something again here too before you come in on Good Pitney, because some persons are saying that nobody is in shelter. I don't know if anybody is in shelter at this particular moment, but what I do know is that up to about 3 weeks ago, the last set of persons I know was in shelter. And by the way, may I let you know that I am a shelter manager. And the last person I know that was in shelter moved out of the shelter about 3 weeks ago. And they were moved out without the help, without the aid, not 1 red cent from government. And I know that for a fact, because I went and give free labor in the house that was set up to facilitate, to accommodate these shelteries. I personally. And I know that the house was totally funded by private group. It was totally funded by private group. Not 1 red cent came. So if those persons were waiting on government, I will tell you that they would still be in the shelter. Go ahead now.
Okay. So in regards to shelter, in Westmoreland, I am aware. I learned right about 2 weeks ago, I believe, when the Minister of Local Government spoke. 60 persons the government is paying their rent who was in shelter, and they're getting meals 2 times per day. So that is what the government is doing in regard to those persons who was in shelter in Westmoreland. Right? When it comes, oh yes, this is where I am going. So when it comes on to all those persons who would have been affected by the hurricane, right? We learned that the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, right? They are the one who is acting. We have seen wherein they have come and even TikTok Live, the Minister have come on TikTok Live. And he tried to reach out to persons who couldn't get benefits because of duplicates and all those things.
Hold on. You are skirting around the question, so I'm not going to allow you to go any further to do any political promotion. All right, hear me now. I'm saying you need to answer the question about the persons who are affected from burial and they don't get no help and the money is in there. That is what we want you to address. And you're saying that the government is a good steward because somebody said they consider the government as inept based on the fact that it's on the ground, the reality that is on the ground. That is what I want you to address. I don't want to jump into the future. As the person just said, you don't want to hear about what them are going to do now and what them plan to do. And we are talking about...
No, what I said is factual information. No, I did not say anything in the future. All I said just now was one. I spoke about the...
Don't repeat that.
Well, there are programs that the government put in place, right? There are the roof program.
All right, you're not answering the question. We're going to move on with the program. Thank you. Somebody want to make a contribution? Somebody else wanted to ask him another question?
Teach, what I will say is this, Teach. This is what I will say, right? You see, as long as we find means and ways, and I have the utmost respect for Good Pitney, just to be clear. But as long as we find means and ways of somehow trying to nice it up or trying to say what they're doing or what they're not doing without actual evidence to indicate as such, especially when it does not reflect so in the general population, as long as we keep doing that, nothing is ever going to change.
Thank you.
And that is a fact. Because what Good Pitney is saying, right, you're justifying their lack of action, their incompetence towards it.
No. What I'm saying he's doing is trying to justify instead of explaining and tell us. What he's doing is he is trying to make excuses and try to justify it.
And this
That's
is
what
and
I
this
see happening.
and this is one of the reasons why whenever I make a claim or whenever I label someone or I use a specific verb or noun to label someone, I can bring the facts to the table and say this is why I'm labeling them as such. And what I have tabled in my presentation is indicative of the literal definition of the word incompetent. So for you to
Well,
say
sir.
otherwise
Well, sir.
is you defending and justifying what the
Well,
government is not
sir.
doing.
Well, sir, you said the government should pay reparation, right? You said that when you were speaking, but the government in this case, it would, right? How would they be paying reparation?
Where did I ever say the government should pay reparation?
While you were going on, you use that word.
I use no word as the word preparation because why would I suggest the government?
Word in the evening.
Beg a second. Good pity. Let me tell you.
Hold on, let me say this first and then I'll go through. Teach. I feel so we go back to like small, like children style. Like if I ask a question and say what was the reason why so and so, you then make the person start and say the reason why so and so happened is because me don't know how it's like people can stay and pine on the question that were asked and those things. Me don't know people keep deviating. And
that is why I said, Bobby. That is why I stopped it a while ago.
Bobby,
you understand? Brother,
you know why? You know why I would agree with you, Bobby, and say let us move on. All right. Me originate from St. Catherine. I have a concern with governance in St. Catherine from I was a child up until now. There's a place about St. Catherine, I'm applying this to the question I ask Good Pitney, but the people in Clarendon. I'm going to show you how people deal with answer and put in a context for you ignore the question where you ask. In a St. Catherine, in a Bobby Pickers get consequences, never last yet. There's a place named Tappy Road where I originate from. No, I've running water up to this pint. As me talk, that's why I can't talk on one side of government. Me talk on the two sides and say they have fall. Bear with me, teach. Tappy Road still don't have no water. I am living in St. James Town. How could I now still I say, may I support the People National Party and ignore if they say Tappy Road still not have no water and talk about it just because I'm living in St. James.
After 10 years.
After 10 years. Still after 20 something years, still not have no water. How could I ignore the fact and say the two party have fault? Because the fault still there, me find in my party.
But because you never get no water, you vote in the next party if you get the water.
Exactly. If you get water, me still not get no water.
So it go back to the question. Have a plan.
Well, I'm Bobby. It go back to the question when me and Teach ask Good Pitney about the people living at the shelter at Clarendon. Up to this point, you know, Good Pitney don't say nothing about that, you know. You tell you about what Flight Green the pan program and say at night time when you get the people Westmoreland, it doesn't change the fact.
The question,
I said nothing about Flight Green, sir.
Me not take it, man. Me just take 10 seconds. The text question derived from the people that don't get any help. The people that me not talking, you talk about the people that will get help and we don't know those people. The question derived from the people that not getting help.
From Beryl,
the government pay rent and all of that's the people.
That's our parent, you know. We talk about the fact is the people in a shelter. Well, I'm the Bobby. We talk about the fact is the people in a shelter from Beryl and then the government come down after Melissa and say they have money left over from Beryl. And you say that government not in a...
Mr. Bobby, you are 100% not aligned with me. And without knowing it just now, you have justified my point. You said there are persons who you said there are persons who get help, but we are only dwelling on the persons
I say the way of them insignificant.
And why are we not taking both persons into consideration? There are persons who get help. There are some who haven't gotten help as yet. But we don't know 100% why this is. But we only want to dwell on those who don't get help. We need to figure out, okay, why those get help, why these doesn't. What are the factors
I have a question for you. Can I ask you a question?
Good Pitney, why you twist up things all the while?
Good Pitney.
Let me clear myself.
All right.
Just use you as an example, Mr. Bobby. Because you as a person who is not aligned with me.
No help.
without knowing it
Me
is
say earlier
pointing to
you
something that
talking
is
about
very
Right,
people
Tony,
will
don't
get
talk.
help
Tony, don't talk
and
one time,
those
please.
people. Let me
And
finish.
we're gonna
And
give
me say
Molly.
you said
Yeah.
you're talking. Me say you keep talking about people will get help and those people not significant enough. When none of them enough, so they on TikTok can come back you up. They know enough. If not one of if they did enough, you then hear them from time to time. You then hear one of them and say, yes, I get help. So we can't see none of those people, and you keep talking how government appearing for people and what government are doing thing, and we not see none of them people that for back you up. And the question derive from why the people them under Chapali not getting help, and you not address that. You talk about 199 or something, and you not talk about that. That was what I said. So if you see your level of comprehension, you have to turn what I say 180 degree. How that happen?
All
Just
right.
you tell my man about reparation. We don't hear nobody say nothing about no reparation
It
neither.
don't happen, man. They know if
All
you
right.
spin things. They know if you spin things our teacher, man. It don't happen, man.
More time. That's why I'm not bother with
Molly?
them platform and more time. You know.
Molly.
Yeah, Molly says she have a question.
Teach, hi teach. As I listen to Good Picnic, I have a question. Good Picnic, apart from the spending is the last part. Is it that the government, right? Because it did not have a well-oiled and a well-tuned disaster recovery plan, don't know how to put the parts and pieces together logistically to address the primary areas of concern, because school starts in September and there are a lot of schools still without roofs. And I see in the paper today where they're saying they're going to help businesses. That's a part, but they gave the churches money before businesses and school. Is it that because they didn't have a thorough, well-oiled disaster recovery risk management plan, why there are so many gaps and gaping holes that still exist almost 12 months after Melissa? Please answer that. Thank you.
Okay. So as I said, right, some of these things is people who is directly in planning need to know. But one thing I know is the government, when they speak to the nation, they speak
People do
about
what? People do what? I
billion.
didn't hear what. People do
Oh,
what? People what?
Can you hear me clearly now?
You said people something. I
Oh,
didn't
no,
hear the
no.
word.
Oh, can you hear me clearly now? Okay, what I was saying is some of these things I cannot answer directly because I'm not like in the planning board and all those things, right? But what I am saying is this government, when they speak, they're speaking about building back better. So some of the schools, they are not going to rebuild them like that. They're going to plan. They're going to see, okay, how can we rebuild the schools
starts
that
September.
if
Hold on. Good Picnic.
Them are going to invade Cuba. Or what
No,
them a
man.
plan?
Let me ask you a favor. Let me ask you a favor, Good Picnic. When the lady asks you a question pertaining to school, when I have her top, when me see about 10 of them a man to go be, no, I answer that question.
The reason why the school don't have any top yet.
No, I answer that question.
So you want the government to just go back and put on the top on the school?
No, man, nobody
without
know
planning,
the reason why,
right? Without taking
why.
all the things. Listen, they need to take the factors, right, into consideration. Why the school got damaged in
But the government gave the churches $75 million.
Again, the same thing is going to happen.
Hold on. Too many persons.
Before you continue,
you guys are all.
Before you continue,
Everybody mute.
Please, beg you 1 minute.
Everybody mute. Hold on. Everybody mute. Molly is asking a question, and I want Astute. Molly, if Astute is answering
let me
your
ask this question again. Good Picnic. What I'm saying is the government prioritized the churches, giving them $75 million before addressing the needs of the children. School is about to restart in September.
Molly, stick up in, Molly. Molly, stick up in, because this is a teaching moment. I know of a group of church, a denomination, which all its churches are insured. And I know of a fact that most of these, if not all of the churches that were damaged, have received their insurance money from way up, I think the last set was like about May. May was, I think, the last set of churches got their insurance money. Yes. So you're talking about the church, the government prioritizing church. I'm just putting that into the mix. Continue. Continue,
Right.
Molly.
So what I'm saying, in a disaster recovery plan, there are areas of priority when it comes to recovery. So is it that because the government did not have a robust enough plan, and I know this to be true because I kind of have some experience, so from the outside I'm able to judge, right? Is it that because they did not have a robust enough plan, well-oiled machinery, they did not know what to prioritize first, second, third, and fourth, right?
Pop up the
In
screen.
terms of,
Pop
because
up the
those, the
screen.
prioritization is what is going to help to rebuild the economy. So how is it that churches now get 75 million over schools? What is the gaping hole, for lack of a better terms, and why is there such a big gap? Because in 2 weeks, we will be in August and school starts in September. Explain that to me, please, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so as I said before, right? I understand the fact. I learned that there are some students under 10. That's where they're studying, right? I understand the fact that some persons would want the roofs to be on the school right away, but I don't believe that is very smart. I believe we need to do a study and see how we can build back better. When it comes on to allocation, there
Sir,
was
hold on, sir.
18
Hold on,
billion
sir.
that was
Hold on.
allocated for
Pause, please.
reconstruction.
Hold on.
Pause. I must have you pause there, because post Melissa, one of the things I observed and I heard and I read and I saw and I listened to was the fact that children were missing school. So what happens is there was a decline in the amount of children attending because their homes were either affected and the schools were affected. And in this case, time is of the essence. And you're saying a study is needed?
Yes, Molly, I believe there need to be a study so that our infrastructures isn't getting blown away every hurricane come, because we are living like we are living in a hurricane zone. It's going to happen again. So if it every year it blow down, we patch it up and it blow down again, it makes no sense. So we need to make climate resilient infrastructure, and that is not going to happen overnight.
So
There is going to be some discomfort. There is going to be some uncomfortableness, but it's us as the people who will have to understand. Yes, the
So
government.
explain to me then, God Pitney. I have one thing.
Oh, they will
Explain to
do it.
me. Okay, so explain to me, because in disaster risk management recovery, explain to me how did the churches get priority over the schools? How did
I
that happen?
cannot answer that question. As you can see, even Mr. Warmington was very upset regarding that. If you listen to many Jamaica Labour Party platform,
is it that you're saying then?
Wait, no, Molly, I'm answering you. If you
Yeah,
listen to
but
many
not so
Jamaica
much.
Labour Party platform, they would have raised concern the same as you have regarding why the church gotten the help they got. However, we still have to acknowledge the church that in our society it plays a very important role.
Good picnic. Good picnic.
The
It
church
then
also
leads me to
play-
conclude. It leads me to conclude, sir, that the disaster risk management recovery plan was not one that was built on prioritizing the needs and institutions that would help the country get back on its feet, and it did not have a plan that was robust enough to look at the areas that needs to be addressed on a priority basis, which includes the school, because if it did, the churches would not have gotten that 75 million.
But would
It
you recognize that the churches
on
is
the
used
total
as
code, and I yield. Thank you.
Would you recognize the churches are used as shelters as well, and you're ignoring
which has
The
brought
church
us
is our
back,
priority over the
which has
schools,
brought
right?
us back to Jolin's point that we have an inept government.
And a dismal failure.
So we are not acknowledging the shelter aspect of the church.
Teach. If I'm allowed
We
to
are
say
not
something,
acknowledging the 18
Hold
billion allocated.
on, Jolin.
Yes?
Yes, go ahead.
If I'm allowed to say something, right? What Good Pitney has not realized, because I've been sitting here quietly listening to him, right? What he has not realized is that in his attempt to justify or defend the current situation we're facing as a result of this government or inaction of this government, is that he's very much made my point of their incompetency.
No, I have not. It
You,
is
yes,
showing that you
sir,
are
sir,
very
sir, sir,
short-term
sir,
thinking.
sir,
You're not
sir,
a
sir, sir,
Hold on,
sir,
long-term
hold on,
thinker.
hold on, hold
sir,
on, Pitney. Hold
sir,
on, Pitney.
sir.
Hold on.
Do you realize how quiet I have been to allow you to speak? And I've not interrupted you. Please uphold me the
No,
same
but
level
I'm
of
telling you, I
courtesy.
have not. You are a short-term thinker. The government
Sir,
is long-term
sir,
thinking.
sir, I will explain this to you, sir. Since you want to have this level of conversation, I am fully capable of doing so. So I will. And I will go to your level, right? What you're saying to me is that the Jamaican government needs to put in place plans and actions that will further prevent or mitigate a repeat of this in the future. If I am listening correctly, that is what you're gearing towards, correct?
I am saying they need to make
It's a yes or
climate
no question,
resilient
sir. It is a yes or
infrastructure.
no
What
question,
Use
you
the
sir.
said,
proper term for the people. You are
what,
not speaking
Pitney,
Sir, I asked you a
what you
to
question,
the
are
sir.
saying,
96 persons listening to
Pitney,
you.
what you
Use
are
small
saying,
words for the people to understand.
Pitney, what you are saying is the same thing that Jolene has just said. You said
I am
that
telling him to speak in understandable terms for
hold
the
on,
people,
hold on,
teacher. You
Pitney,
don't want the
hold on,
people listening
Pitney,
to your
hold
platform
on,
to
Pitney, hold
understand.
on, Pitney, hold on, Pitney.
Use term the people.
Hold on, Pitney. You said a while ago that the government have to make long-term plans for the school. So the government never know say in did to make long-term plans from Melissa did bro.
This problem is for government over government for a pass, right? This government cannot do everything.
Good Pitney,
These are foundation issues.
Good Pitney. Good
You
Pitney.
make the
Hold on,
conclusion
hold
now.
on.
The
One
government
moment, man.
cannot
One moment.
manage.
One moment. One
The
moment,
government
please.
cannot
One
manage. You
moment.
said it.
One moment. One moment, please. So good Pitney. Good Pitney. It is not that the government does not have the money, basically, because the money is available. So we are saying that why is not the money being moved? Because and if there was a plan in place, it means that the money would have been already been moving.
But you guys are ignoring the allocation. You know, there's a $18 billion allocation for the school reconstruction. So you're speaking as if there is no allocation for this.
And I'm
But
saying to
allocating
you,
the funds
I am
and
still asking the question. The reality on the ground is that things are not being fixed.
Good Pitney,
Yeah,
good
why are the
and
schools
there
not being
needs to
fixed?
be a study. We cannot rush to it.
Teach.
What about
I think we
learning
have-
loss?
I think we
There's
have-
something called learning
I
loss.
think we're going to leave here so now because I think this is not making much sense right now.
Well, come on, shortly, teach.
You guys want us to rush and fix the school, patch it up. And the same thing is going to happen over and over again.
So you need the next 9 months to finish the study, right? We take the next 9 months.
No, 4 years.
Finish the
4
study.
years. 4 years. 4 years.
Teach.
Good Pitney, there's a thing called learning loss. And learning loss post Melissa has been significant in the Western parishes. And you're saying no. Okay, brother. You are saying we need a study.
Teach.
Yeah.
Hold on,
But Mali,
hold on,
okay,
hold
Mali,
on,
wouldn't
Mali,
you agree with
please,
me that we cannot
people
just
don't break
rebuild
in.
the
People,
school?
please don't break in. Mali is saying something.
No, Mali, would you agree with me?
No, I cannot. You know why I cannot
Hold on.
agree
Good
with
Pitney,
you?
Good Pitney. Give Mali the chance to finish, man. Have
Good
some
Pitney,
respect.
unfortunately, I cannot agree with you because your a thorough, well thought out disaster risk management plan helps you to prioritize where the needs are and what institutions needs to be prioritized, right? And when I say institutions, I'm grouping them in terms of education, right? Your health centers. Your disaster risk management recovery plan includes prioritizing those areas that needs to be addressed first. And if you prioritize that plan and the plan is robust because you've had the experts sitting at the table and helping you to develop the plan when it comes to recovery, right, and repair, which is the 5th pillar of your plan, you would not be in this position where you still have schools that have not been repaired, and the church would not have gotten that lump sum of money because you would have a B, C, 1, 2, 3. And post Melissa, there has been significant learning loss by many students. And you are saying to me now, which is mind-boggling, that we must work for our plan. No,
And the people, they must wait till we come up with a good plan till we fix back the school. And me, boy, I don't know what done to me, must have done.
Remember, as I said, I'm not sitting at that table. That plan,
because you're telling me about allocation. You're telling
pretty much.
No, but you're telling me about allocation.
Hold on,
Teach, give me 1 second, Teach.
Hold on, Mali. I'm going to give you the second, but after this. So listen to this now. If Good Pitney cannot understand that simple concept, you have broken it down to this, I think, to the lowest terms, Mali.
You just want to attack me, and it is very sad, and it's disingenuous.
If
everyone who is listening would understand that I very much come.
Good Pitney, you know that if you.
I'm saying that we need
to put you in the corner. I'll have to put you in the
building.
corner. I'll put you in the corner for a moment. Because you're not
tell me that I don't have the ability to comprehend.
You're not learning the simple concept. So we will have to know. You know what they do in teaching when the students are not learning the simple concept?
I just don't agree with the way you want to do it.
We do an assessment of why the child is not learning the concept and to see if we can come up with some more teaching strategy.
That is why Jamaica is where it's at right now.
And we'll have to go try see if we can use some visual aids, and we have to go back now and use some different teaching methods. So when we come back to the next class, so we're going to do the lesson plan and come back to you, Good Pitney, so you can break it down simply.
Let's
move on. Let's move on.
Teach. I've been trying to say this for the last 5 minutes, and I think we should move on because
let's move
we're just
on.
going around in a circle at this point. That's what I was saying. We should move on.
Yeah.
We're just going around in a circle at this point.
Yes. All right. Hope you said something, Hope.
No, it was. Anyway, I don't see a move on, teacher. I was want to ask him about, because he says they're doing the research about the school tour. What was he saying? They got to do some things to make them better or something like that.
Climate
resilient building.
And I cannot understand what is so upsetting about that. What's so upsetting? You need to answer me. What is so upsetting about building climate resilient infrastructure?
All right.
Can I answer you? Can I answer you?
Look here.
No, I need the teacher. Hold on. Because of this triangle, I want him to answer.
Hold on, people.
Good baby.
All right, Seabreeze, with all due respect, we don't say already, say we are going to do some, the teachers will have to go back to the drawing board.
I understand.
They can work on some teaching methods.
Different
see if we can still break down this more simpler, the concept simpler so that the student can learn.
Right, you're biased because you don't want to acknowledge.
You know he's not biased. You know why?
We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're going to move on.
I just want to ask him, like, when are they going to finish to do all of this research, and what date are they going to finish and start the schooling? Because
I am not in government. I am not in these boards.
That's why we're not going any further with it.
That's what I'm
saying. We're not going any further with that.
I know, but that's what I said to him then. If you go say you're not in government and you come here and put that information out there, and now
the government put it forward, Seabreeze. But you are asking me about a timeline. I cannot give.
I think
that's just me just saying something to say something.
What I think boils down to you're trying to defend.
Anyway, please continue the platform, This guy doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about.
Trying to defend what is indefendable. Right?
Yeah, stupid. I don't know why. I don't want to disrespect you, Mike.
You
just sound like somebody where somebody can get a basket.
No, you guys are people of past.
Let's move on. They control our platform.
Let's move on now. Let's see if we can.
Do with the date and stuff like that.
You're wrapping up, Jolene, or what? You want to make it further?
Wait,
Molly, I'm gonna come to Molly next again. Molly wants to make.
Look, what I have to say in conclusion to that point that I raised before I was interrupted by Good Pitney is this, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you say, without the actual act, it is pointless. And while I do agree to some extent to what Good Pitney is saying, at the end of the day, the fact remains, what you're saying to me is that if we take 10 to 20 years to be we're planning, so it's okay. That's not the case here. It doesn't change the fact that Jamaica is in a crisis state for 9 months, especially with that side of the island, and nothing has been done to address it. That is where we're at. And staying in the sense of justification is a problem for me. So what I would say is it's best if we just move on from this, because at the end of the day, it will always be us trying to state what the issue is. And then there will always be someone trying to say, okay, but this is what the government says, this is what look. At this point, I think most of the people
liking Terry, but I would like you even more to be up here. Yes, go ahead, darling.
And what I would say is a lot of people on this panel will agree with me when I say we are beyond the point of conversations. We are beyond the point of planning. We now need actions. How long will we make plans?
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, Jamaica has a trend. Whenever they take this long to plan, especially when it comes down with a great sum of money, you always hear about shortfall down the ladder. So I don't care to hear what you're planning. I wish for the money to be taken action for now and demonstrated, as opposed to you saying, oh, we're making plans. Then a year or two down the line, money goes absent, because this is a trend in my country and for both parties. And that's where I stand and I land there.
I'm going to remind the platform about something, teacher.
Thank you.
Earlier when we speak about it, and we raise about 10 to 15, between 10 and 15 topics since the program started. And it all boiled back down to one thing. The country is in a recession, and the government are trying to find all the excuses for us. Take with mind of pay attention to certain things, for nobody to find out, but the country is in a recession. There's no money to spend, to do nothing. Because when good people come here and tell we say, school are open 1 month away from now, and school have on the top, and you say the government them a plan to build resilient building to sustain the next hurricane we have. We not talk about all choco people have the park up, We can't see it, we talk about students in a school who are move from one grade to the next and need classrooms to go back in. These are all excuses you guys finding to defend a government when not able to run the country. The government fail.
Incompetent after the fact.
That there's one Patrick that is saying that I am not a good person. Some of the school fix back.
Okay, so let me say this. The Minister of Education, Dana Dixon, right? She was at a retreat for principals, right? And she said she made the announcement while addressing the ministry's annual Region 6 Principal Retreat in Ocean Coral Springs Resort in Trelawney, July 14. And this is what she said. According to the minister, progress has not been made as quickly as initially expected due to repairs and maintenance works across the education system taking longer than expected to implement. So who is saying that? She's the minister, right? She is the minister. I remember when Hurricane Melissa passed and I was looking in this whole climate resilient thing, there was a study as far back as 2021 that talked about how Jamaica's climate change risk is very high. I don't know, we just know this. And when your plan to address your climate change issues and your climate resilient plan when there is no hurricane on the horizon. And climate change doesn't mean only hurricanes. It can mean a lot of other things, right? Earthquakes, floods, right? And this is not new or novel. So you are telling me, as a people of so many educated people, we wait till a storm to come to tell we say we have climate resilience shortfalls and gaps in our institutions. We wait till after the fact. I will not accept that. I'm sorry.
And it's okay if you don't accept that, but you should at least acknowledge, right, that we need climate resilient infrastructure, because we cannot be going back to this year over year.
With all respect, that was not the discussion.
You guys
we don't need to recognize
that is short term.
We don't need to. We're not going back over this.
I need to repeat something we said before. Right. Teach me, then beg you a minute,
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. We see all what we're supposed to say, and we see the situation. So we just mess around a little bit by just like we are trying to ask for explanation. Pitney can explain something we know nothing about. From 1962, Jamaica gets political independent. Yeah?
Independence.
So all of the government over the years would then put in different program. Yeah, when it comes to school repair and maintenance over the year, yeah. The definition of government. So the government would have certain responsibility under a definition. That are the things we're supposed to do, yeah? So how do we have proper government? We then go through the maintenance of the school, them like before police station and so forth. So them would have when we talk about climate change. Climate is a period, average period changes over 33 years. So 33 years ago, certain things didn't happen. 33 years now, some things rain start fall more regular or less or whatsoever. So the government would have to implement changes according to the procedure or the protocol what they used to use to maintain whatsoever school. This are the time when we normally would maintain school, so we don't have a budget. In the maintenance of school, they have a thing when they have assessment. Yeah, them thing they in a government, the assessment. So the contractor, them are who in charge, or the civil engineer, them would then check the school. You have some school after a certain year, you have to go stop use them. Them building the, so you don't know how much school more for new school you have to build and which school you have to go stop use and so forth. You don't know which school you need for the whatsoever with the top. So we just as a short now, summarize it. With the hurricane we're up now, then we then draw back and call the people them we name technocrat and consultant for do an assessment. It not take more than 1 week for do the assessment, and then up to the contractor them now for give a full report now on the damage. So you have a government official who they make sure say overstate the damage. Yes, so the contractor now you then give the report to the corporate contractor. So then when they invite for the contract. Yeah, and talk how quick them can do it and how much they cost, and the government do they know the thing there. A nation now, when make a nation move now, you have something when you factors in economic. So education would be one of them, because if you're stagnant or your education decline over 10 to 15 years, the country destroy. Yeah, the country destroy. So that means your priority have to deal with education, access to the social institution them, so you have access not only to education but to health and so forth and whatsoever. So you have priority. So the word priority need to look back on the definition if you are government. That's why Jolene say after the fact, after 9 months, you know, say no matter what your excuse or your alibi is, you feel so you're incompetent for whatsoever reason. Yes, so I just say it really say the government of technocrats and what say they move the money and do the emergency work. So not only priority they need to learn the definition of and know the importance of it, but also the word emergency. So if I say you deal with certain thing under emergency, ODPEM or whatsoever, and move it and make people when they know nothing in a social work, they know nothing in a disaster planning, take over the work where people would have to put in their credential to get a work at ODPEM. That means that those people would have to have experience, information and qualification, and you take it over with the army alone and ODPM can do the work. Yeah, and you make provision in the thing how much or every year you make provision. That means that you would think that so you then function or act as a government with understanding what are your responsibility. So if you feel all of that, that means that you're incompetent as a government. After the fact.
All right.
Sir, you're
Thank you,
speaking
thank
just
you.
generally,
I'm
and
going to-
I believe you need
Hold on,
to
people.
inform
Hold
us.
on, people.
But I'm going to come down
Hold on,
after the program.
and show you.
Hold on,
Yeah,
people.
defend
I'm coming
something.
off the
Hold on,
program
hold on, people.
because you know
Hold
what?
on, people.
Defend
Hold on,
something that you
people.
don't know
Hold on,
nothing
people.
about.
Hold on,
Teach.
people. Hold on.
Teach,
Hold on. Hold on a moment.
in regards
Hold on a
to
moment.
in regards to
Hold
what
on a
gentleman
moment,
just
please.
said.
People,
No,
people
no.
need to make an
No,
announcement.
I'm coming
please.
off the program, but I'm just saying this. You see,
Hold
when we
on,
are
man.
biased to a level
Hold on.
where we
No,
cannot.
this is not bias.
Hold
We're
on.
talking factual.
No.
Hold on. Hold on.
I say
Hold on.
JLP
Hold
and
on,
PNP,
people.
I
Hold
tell you
on,
we're
people.
going over the year, so we fine tune the program them, the
Yeah.
different
Hold on,
education policy
hold on,
and
Bobby.
paper.
Hold on, Bobby. Hold on, Bobby. Hold on,
Bobby,
Bobby.
hold on.
I have to. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be wrapping up in 15 minutes or less. So I will soon be at the point where I'm going to just ask everybody to make their final 1 minute or 2 minute contribution, and then I will thank you. But before I go there, I just want to point out something. I am a shelter manager, and last year, when the hurricane, there was an area that my shelter was would have been catering for maybe well over 2,000 people. Well, let me put it, say maybe over 2,000 people in one flood-prone, low-lying area, and the material I got, and there was a public announcement that people in that area were to evacuate because the hurricane was projected to make landfall there. And I was at the center, and I got from the ODPM, it was about 20 mattresses in all, sponge mattress, and about 10 packages of food items, right? And they were saying, giving out notice that all the people in that area should vacate based on the projection of the storm. And I'm saying no. Then suppose all the persons had come to my shelter. Plus, when I received those, I was told that it is to be shared between 2 more shelters. They're using my shelter as a center. 2 more shelters to get out of that supply. And my shelter was the main shelter that would have hosted that area, which had about over 2,000 residents. And I'm saying no. What could I have done with that type of supply if 3/4 of the people or 1/4 of the people had decided to move into the shelter? What could I have done with that? I just threw that into the mix. When you're wrapping up, if you want to address it, you can address it. So starting with Edwin.
Teach. I'll take let me closing statement. You said this.
Yeah, 2 minutes of working. Hold on. Can I work with 2 minutes? No, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't work with 2 minutes, but a minute. Try and see if you can wrap up within a minute.
When you have to look on governance in our country, and I think we don't pay attention to the biggest climate change what we have in our Caribbean country like Jamaica now, a drought, you know. And year to year, Missy area no have no water, and I don't see these people putting no measures to make no major changes in these areas. No, not at all, you know. So when you have people come and defend a system like this, obviously to me, them not feel it. But me wait until we come back around teacher one next day, or we can divert these things more to make some sense out of it.
Jim still here with us? A long time not here, Jim.
Jim don't teach.
All right, we move on to Bobby. Bobby, make your minute to talk.
Jamaica is being hijacked by an organization. When I'm going to describe it, but really there. And we have to understand what happened to the human resource or the people them, and what happened to the land itself. Yeah.
Jolene still here with me? Jolene not here. Molly, you here?
Yes, teacher, I'm here. Going forward, I admonish the government to get the right people at the table, especially when it comes to disaster risk management and planning. And what this will help the government to do is to prioritize the restoration of critical infrastructure of which schools are a part of, because as I said before, significant learning loss occurred post Melissa, right? And so it can, by getting the right people at the table, right? What it does is the Builders Association of Jamaica, you get them at the table, you ask them pre-disaster, what kind of materials would be needed to get this up and running in the quickest time as possible? once you've cleared the roads and done your assessment, right? Going forward, I admonish the government. It might look away, just like you would have some neighborhoods in North America where all of the house them stay the same. You know why? Because all of the house them use the same tile, the same shingle, whatever. Start with, when you're rebuilding with the same design. So in the eventuality of a disaster, you don't have to be sourcing all different kinds of material. You're sourcing one types of material. So it is important that you get the right people at the table. Your disaster risk management plan ensures that you are pre-positioned to act after disaster. And so when you are pre-positioned, then what does that allows you for when there is a disaster and affects the days that the students would go to school, you turn to your hybrid systems and models and alternate areas or places where students can show up to learn. You also make sure that you have accessible internet so children can still continue with their education, especially when they're at a critical juncture, matriculating from high school to university, primary school to high school. So it is important that the right people get a seat at the table so the ineptness that is being discussed does not show on the global stage, which can be very embarrassing if you ask me. And I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Hope. If you would allow me teach, and I'm coming back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us here on the platform, and I want to do it this way. I'm gonna ask, I was starting off with me, all the other person on the panel, including you, to outline at least 2 things that are of great concern that is affecting the country that is greater than an alleged leaked tape. And I will start with me. So I believe that the website that was set up by the government claimed that the website was the government website, but it was managed by a private individual. That is what we call misrepresentation. And misrepresentation in the rules of law is a breach. And so I'm dealing with that. 1. 2, the capital expenditure is short by over $20 billion. The capital expenditure. So I'll leave those 2. And in my mind,